one, I made sure I was unmuted this time. And, welcome to the Sass. This is the Sass for August 11th. We do now nighttime Sasses here on Sunday. And today is Q&A. That's right. We're going to be doing a Q&A on the things that you want to know business-wise. I went in and I asked in the group, what do you want to know? What are your burning questions? And I am going to answer them. So not only am I live here on YouTube and Facebook, but I am also live on TikTok. That's right. So we're going to be talking today about your business questions, and I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability. Let me get to the group. Now, Patty Gorski just moved from Pennsylvania down to Florida, and her question was, when making stock items for vendor booths, craft fairs, how many of the same item with the same design do you do? Is too much? What's too much? What's not enough? For example, if you do a wood slice ornament with a snowflake and you have the word joy on it, right? How many of those particular styles do you do? I'm going to break this down kind of in the way of, if you've moved to a new area, you're going to a new vendor booth, a new vendor show, not one where you kind of know what's going on. All right. The reason I say that is because we don't know what we're walking into. So I sat here and I broke it down into different things. So first things first, what you want to do, let me go, hold on one second. I want to make sure that this is where I'm in the right one. Okay. First things, what you want to do is start with a small variety. That's what I do. Let the rule of 6. Yep. I talk about it when I'm going through all of the things, when I'm going through my shop and I want to know how many of an item to keep in stock in my shop. I have a rule of 8 there. Well, when I go to a vendor show, I like the rule of 6, especially when I'm just starting out. Maybe it's a new vendor show to me. Maybe it's a new area for me, wherever it may be. When you're moving from one location, like Patty, she moved from basically was farmhouse country, and she's now moved to a coastal community. It is vastly different when it comes to the look of things, what people use for their decor, what they tend to do personalization. Where up in the north, we're not about monograms. We're down in the south. They live for their monograms. All right. So I want you to start with a small amount. Go with the rule of 6. You want to do a variety. So if you're going to do that snowflake, we're going to use that example. If you're going to do a wood slice with a snowflake and you're going to do the word joy, right? You might want to do 6 joys or 6 hopes or 6 faiths, whatever that may be. You can even go a little bit smaller, especially if you're completely unsure and you're like, Nikki, I don't want to have all this stock, right? So you could go with 2 of joy, 2 of hope, and 2 of faith, and you still have your 6. So you could do the 6 as a whole, or you could do it 6 of that particular, it's a wood slice with a snowflake and a word. Okay, so you get to decide that. If it's a really new, for Patty, it's a really new area and it's going to be a new vendor booth, new vendor spot, the whole 9, she might want to start out with snowflake with joy, only 2, and then hope 2, and then faith 2, where she still has her 6 items. Okay, so I would go with that in your variety pack when you're first starting out, especially when you've moved locations completely like she did, or if you're just trying out a new vendor event, you're not really sure, you have a small table, you don't know the vibe yet of where the people are, so you kind of want to start that. Next, you want to focus on the variety. When you're offering new things, a wide range of designs can also be a good option. That's where that rule of 6 can come in too. You want to offer a lot of different things, but you don't want to be overwhelmed with the amount of things that you have. So, example, maybe she has that same wood slice, except this time it might have the red truck. Right? So she might want to offer 6 red trucks if that seems to be the kind of vibe of where she is. It may not be, but what might be the vibe is she might only want to do 3 of the truck, but living in a coastal town, she might want to do more on the seashells. Flamingos are big in Florida. The flamingo, that kind of thing, palm trees. the coastal vibe, where she might want to do more of a coastal vibe versus a farmhouse vibe. Do you see where I'm saying with that? So that's where you kind of got to know your area. A good rule of thumb to kind of know what the area is like, go to the local shops, see what local shops have in their shops, right? Because that will help kind of with the vibe. They've kind of established. You really want to look for like mom and pop type shops. You want to see what they're offering because they're an established store and they're like, okay, they know what the people want. And that'll help you with your vendor show. So if you get the opportunity, shop. And if you can't because, well, you're too far from that particular location, there's this thing. It's called Google. Do it, right? Go look for these shops and see what if they have an online store and then see what they have to offer. All right. That is a great way to be able to figure out what the vibe of that area is. Now, you also want to just kind of adjust as you go. You're entered into that new vendor spot. You went from one place and now you're in a new place. You got to get a vibe, but you're going to adjust. So for your first time out at a new vendor event or maybe a new vendor spot, you might want to start small. Your vendor booth space, whatever it may be, does not have to be this huge conglomerate of a thing, right? You could start out with a smaller space, kind of get a feel for what people are buying, add to it as you go. Don't overwhelm yourself. That is probably the biggest mistakes we can make as business owners. We want to go all in, guns blazing and saying, this is what we need to have. And then we're like overwhelmed with trying to make all the things. So the best bet is to start small. That's where that rule of 6 also comes in. Maybe you only want 6 ornaments. I know that sounds crazy, but again, figure out what the vibe is of the people around you. Consider the size of the event too. So if she's going to be doing a craft fair per se, well, ask the people who are running it. Is this your first time running this show? How many people have traditionally come to the show, right? You don't want to be going to a show that, is their first time out and they're boasting they're going to have thousands of people. Let's put the brakes on, put it in reverse for a second. Here's the reason for that. If it's a first time vendor event, craft fair, if you will, chances are it might not be a total blowout of people coming in, mass people. But if it's a well-established event, you'll be able to ask the vendor coordinators and say, hey, what's the actual foot traffic that comes in here? And they should be able to give you numbers. They know how the numbers go from year to year. You can also ask them how many vendors are returning vendors. That's a telltale sign that this is a good event. If these vendors are repeat vendors, that's a great sign that they are doing a great job at that event. They're having great success at that event. So that's how you can pretty much ask those questions. And it's not rude to ask those questions. If they get snippy with you, just say, I'm new to the area. I'm just trying to get a feel for how this event may go and what kind of a product that I would like to bring. You want to sweeten it back to them. If they come back to you with a snarky comment like, well, I don't know, everybody comes back. Truth of the matter is, not everybody does. And the thing is, that's okay too. They're going to try to hype it up because they want to keep you in as a vendor. But if you're already there, they're going to be real and honest with you. And the ones that are the ones that run the better events. The ones that are very real and honest with you. Hey, listen, in years past, we've done X, Y, and Z. And in years past, we've had 75% of our vendors are returning vendors. Fantastic. Those are odds I like, right? So I hope that answers your question, Patty. She is behind the scenes. So Patty, did that answer your question? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Thumbs up? Okay.
Big thumbs up. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
That is Patty behind the scenes. And I want you guys to take a moment right now to say good evening to the ladies behind the helm. Over here on Facebook and TikTok, we have Miss Jody and Patty. They're the ladies that you'll hear their voice in the background. Yes, they're the ones that are going to be answering your questions in the comments. And everybody here over on the TikTok, I have Mr. Chuck, who is back here behind the helm. He is running my mod section over here on the TikTok. So thanks so much for watching. All right. Here we go. If they're snippy, you might want to rethink the event. Exactly, Sharon. Sorry, I saw Sharon underneath that. I meant Sandy. Yes, Sandy, that's a perfect thing. If they are doing that, then that's the thing. You want to go, okay. So next question. This was a great question. This was by Dawn Lawrence. And she said, all right, if you have items that you no longer want to stock or you can't get them anymore, what's the best way to market them? Do you mark them down? What kind of words do you use? Do you offer new pricing? That's a great question. So maybe the vendor is no longer a vendor where you got the blanks from. Maybe it's a blank that you just didn't love, but you're going to do that one last pitch effort to try to sell the thing. You know, the purple box we talk about? Yeah, that thing. So maybe it's this last ditch effort to try to get rid of the things before you pitch the things, right? You want to try to recoup some money. So here we go. You can start off with having on your website, your e-commerce, your Facebook, wherever it is you do the selling, or at your vendor booth in space, a clearance section. You could call it a clearance or sales section. Designate the specific area for this booth. Label it clearance. You know how many people shop the clearance section? I do. I am all about it. Or last chance selection. If you don't like the word clearance, use last chance. That's a great word. These signal to your customers that these items are offered to you at a reduced price and will not be restocked. How many times have we seen that verbiage in our everyday life when it comes to other businesses? Last chance, never getting it again, liquidation. You know those terms? Think of those. But for your case, I would say clearance or last chance are great terms you could use. Now, and it comes to marking down your pricing. You could do the old cross it out and put a new pricing. That's one way. It kind of draws attention to the price tag, if you will. You could do a percentage off signage, 20% off, 30% off. Make sure you're very specific and make those signs big. You want them blaring at the people. So if you're going to make a sign, let's say you have a vendor booth, a vendor space, a craft fair. Did you know you could sell clearance stuff at craft fairs? Yeah, you can. You can sell your clearance stuff. And what you would say, last chance. When you're doing a craft fair versus a vendor booth, okay, I want you to hear the verbiage. At a craft fair, last chance restocks. Last chance, and then 20% off. Looks really nice at a craft fair. Whereas at a vendor booth, clearance sale, 20% off, or clearance sale off of markdown pricing, whatever it may be, however you decide to do it. They have two kind of different vibes. Craft fairs, you don't generally see clearance items, so you could just have a last chance section on your table. That way these people can snag them up because it's a deal and a steal. You could even call them deals and steals. And under that, won't be restocked again. Grab your steal and deal. That's a great way. It's another verbiage that you could add that doesn't have to sound like clearance, right? Stores, vendor booths use clearance. You got your craft fairs, that kind of thing. Last chance, steal and deal, that kind of thing. Now, you could do a flat markdown. So it could be, it started out as $10 and then you're crossing it off and it's now $5, right? So if it's $10, it's $5 off everything on this table, or it's $10 off everything on this table. You could do that too if you want. Percentages just seem to roll better with people. We're used to that in everyday society when it comes to, retail stores, percentages off, or that big cross out and it's now this. We've been kind of conditioned to have that be the thing, okay? So I want you guys to try to figure out how to make it look a classy way without making it look tacky. Okay, so we're classy, we ain't tacky. All right. Again, when I say the grab phrases for that, last chance, final sale is another one that you can do. Why is that? It creates a sense of urgency and it implies that once these items are gone, they're gone for good, right? Clearance, Everything must go. This can convey that you are eager to move this remaining stock, and potential clients will draw in more buyers. Okay, that's going to draw people in when they say everything must go. Limited stock, don't miss out. That's another thing where you can use it in your craft fair and you can use it in your retail space as well. This is going to create a sense of urgency that it needs. It's going to be, this stuff is scarce. That's not even the word I'm looking for. Scarcity is the word I'm looking for. It encourages your people to buy more items before they're gone. They want to snag them up. I know I love a good deal. And if it's a good deal, I'm going to snag it up because you know what? I might not get it again. So create that sense of urgency with just those key words. You can also have another strategy of creating bundles. Y'all know I love me a good bundle. I love me baskets. I love me bundles. However you want to call it, shake it, bake it. I don't care. I love me a good bundle. Now, it's another strategy that creates bundles. These items are at a discounted rate already. Buy two, get one free, that kind of thing. Or this gift basket, it could be of all the items that you want to get rid of. And now you've created a whole gift basket set. Perfect for the upcoming holiday season, right? If you see a basket set, how likely are you going to buy it? Especially if it's a lot of cool things in there. You could always take the basket apart and repurpose them into 8 different gifts, right? It doesn't have to be one gift. It could be 8 gifts, but you're looking at it going, I like what's in there. I'm going to snag it up because you know what? It's a bargain deal and I love me a good bargain. Now, that was a lot right there. For somebody who is just starting out, you could put a clearance area or last chance. Just be careful of the event that you're in. Make sure that when you're doing your price markdowns and you're crossing out your old price, make sure it's clear. When you're crossing out that price, make sure the new price is crystal clear so people know very much what it is. Don't just slap a new sticker on an old one. Cross it out if that's your jam, and that's fine too. All right, let me see what my next question was. Thanks, Dawn. I hope that answered your question. In all of the things that are in there, that's a lot of information that was just thrown out. Give me 1 second. Let me breathe for this intermission for a sec. All right, comments over here. Let me check the comments real quick. Perfect. So far, are we good? Have I lost anybody? I know this is a lot of information, but it's information as a small business owner you kind of need, right? All right. This was a great question, and I needed to get a further follow-up on this question. This came from Shy Bird, and she asked the question. I'm going to answer this. I need to put this before. I'm going to answer this as me, as the graphic designer, and what my rules and regulations are. I need you just to understand what I'm about to say. Okay. Not every graphics designer is going to answer this question this way. Please make sure you reach out to the graphics designer before you do anything. Okay. There's my disclaimer. You're welcome. All right. So the next one is designer images. All right. It's how to use designer images, right or wrong ways to use the designer's images. How does the designer get credit they deserve and the non-designer from stealing it? That's a lot. And I had to ask her, I'm like, what in the world are you asking? I'm lost. I was trying to eat lunch today and I was like, I don't know. So she sent me a voice message and now it's all cleared up. So what she kind of wants to know is when I make a graphic design, I tend to make a mock-up of it. General use for the mock-ups that I make, and I know that Ashley Dodd makes, and the rest of my designers make, you can use them to gauge interest on your Facebook groups, on your social media. What we like for you to not do is use them on your e-commerce store, unless we say, go ahead. I know a lot of you like to use our stuff, and that's fine. Reach out to me and ask me first. I'd rather have you ask me. I have a list of people who have asked me, hey, do you mind if I use your mock-ups on my e-commerce? And then I get to decide at that moment if I want you to do that. Here's the thing. I don't use my own mock-ups for my own website because I'll go in and I'll either press the item or I'll make a new mock-up for myself. So Please note that my mock-ups, though, say the Sassy Subber on them. Somehow they are there in watermarked form. I have the Sassy Subber on my mock-ups. So if you want to put my mock-ups on your e-commerce, please note that your people are going to know that I'm the designer. Okay, I just want to put that out there. I know that that seems crazy, but there you go. Now, here's another thing. You're also going to get people who are going to show off my work, claim it as their own, and go, oh, yeah, I can make that for you. And they never buy my design. It sucks. That's called reality. And can I stop it? No, I can't, unfortunately. In this day and age of AI, I can't stop anything at that point. All I could do is go on the good faith effort. And if I see it, I don't like it, you get a cease and desist. Pretty simple, right? Because that's my copyrighted items. Is the moment I make it and publish it, it is my copyright. I have made it. You cannot take it. Okay. So what you need to do is use it for gauging interest. If it's something that somebody says, oh, I'd really like that, go ahead and make the thing, then use that on your e-commerce. All right. That's the best way to do it. If you are okay, and this is only coming from me and me alone. All right. I'm going to say that again for all the people in the back of the room. Hi. If you want to use these, my mock-ups on your e-commerce, please keep in mind that my watermark is on it. It is saying that I, the Sassy Subber, created that design. So if you have somebody go, why does it say the Sassy Subber on there? Well, that's because that's the designer I used. And if you want to avoid that, what you can do, designs provided by the Sassy Subber in the description. Now you're giving credit where credit is due. We still ask that when you are using our images to gauge interest, put your watermark on it. All right. You're the maker of the thing. People have got to know that not everybody in the world designs everything. They go and buy their designs. Give credit where credit is due. So put it in the comments of your e-commerce. Please note that this design was made by ... And it was produced by you, whoever you are. You can do this a bunch of different ways where you can still give the designers their credit. That is up to you at the end of the day. I just know that a lot of graphics designers watermark their stuff and don't want you to use them on your e-commerce. Okay. So I know that you just have to check out to that designer and find out what their terms of use are and understand their terms of use. There's so many out there. I know it's complicated. The best rule of thumb is just use them to gauge interest and make sure that that's what they allow. Not every designer is like me. I allow you to use them to gauge interest. And yes, I don't mind that you use them on your e-commerce. Just be very well aware that it says the Sassy Subber. So I'd rather you didn't, and I'd rather you press your own item. But I also know that that's not always possible. So I get that. Reach out to me first. We'll have that cool discussion. And I'm open to a lot of different things, but I'm not about to take my watermark off my items so that you could put them on your e-commerce and claim them as your own. Not going to happen, okay? So, yes, it is very complicated. Very, very, very complicated. Exactly. So, write this down. The Sassy Subber, me, says you can use any of her mock-ups to gauge interest. Please watermark them. Sassy Subber also says she will allow us to use them on our e-commerce, but be aware that they are watermarked with her name, and it's easier if I put designs by the Sassy Subber in the comments section, and then all is right with the world from my neck of the woods. All right? That's how you can give credit where credit is due. We try to do the best to make our own stuff. Like I said, not only do I hand draw a lot of my stuff, yes, I will put elements together to create something new. That has been something I've been doing for years. It's not, anything crazy. I will also now use AI prompts. I've been teaching AI prompts recently. Last night, actually, we had a small get-together session about doing AI prompts using Midjourney in our Zoom class on Saturday. If you missed out on that, no, it's not recorded. I don't record the Zooms unless it's, I tell you ahead of time that I'm going to record them. So if you're interested in AI prompts and Midjourney, come sneak into a Zoom on a Saturday night. I'm just saying, for those of you over on TikTok, I do have a Facebook group. It is called the Sassy Subber. You have to be a small business owner in order to be in that group, in order to do all the things. I do try to check you out to make sure that you are a small business owner. So there is that, just so you know. All of you guys here on the Book of Faces and over on the Tube, please make sure you guys keep that in mind, that if you want to do a Zoomie with us and you want to talk about Midjourney, we could set that up. But right now, it's just questions. That's what people wanted to ask last night, and that's what we're doing today. All right. Is there any questions in the comment section? Those are the three main questions that everybody had for tonight. Double check, like I said, with your designer. I'm just going through my notes real quick. Double check with your designer. Always, always, always. Any questions that you guys may have, please let me know in the comment section and we will see. Hello, Marvin. Hi, Cheyenne. Hi, Emily. Dawn. Patty says hi. She's over on the Tube and everything else. Let's see. Hello, Miss Suzanne. Welcome in. Welcome in. So there you go. Let me see what some other things that people were asking. I knew this was going to be a short Sass, if you will. Q&A questions usually are. I don't see any over here on the Tickety Talk. Let me see. Just checking over here. Nobody on the TikTok has any business questions there. So if you would like to learn anything about Midjourney and AI prompts, we can talk about it. That's the AI that I use. I typically like to use it to just make new elements, to make new designs. If I am going to make a full design, I just kind of give it away in the group. That's just how I do it. Why? Because I did an AI prompt to make that whole image. I don't feel right selling it. And I know a lot of people do, and that's on them. I'm not going to judge you. Oh, yes. Can you use Chicago screws on the boards with the alligator clips? The answer is no. The reason being is the Chicago screw piece that comes down is too thick for the holes that are in the alligator clip. Your best bet is to use rivets, the ones that you have to hammer in, or you can pinch them in. You can actually use pliers to pinch in those rivets. But that would be the best bet to use for those, are the regular rivets that you have. It's like two caps on one end. So there's a male and female and whatnot. But those would be the ones I would use. The Chicago screws have a hard time because the hole on the alligator clips are way too small. So if you want to try to drill a bigger hole, you absolutely can try. I just know that it's a struggle bus for that one. I hope that helps. Let's see. Nothing over there. All right. If there is no other questions that you have, let me give you some life updates. This is the moment where I will tell you I will be away from the office from the 13th through the 20th. I'm headed to South Carolina for a business meeting. I'm setting up a BN20. I'm also going to be at TexMax Happy Japan. So it's TexMax Direct, and I'm going to be working on the Happy Japan, doing some content creating on the 16th with them. So it is a full-on business trip, but I will be with my computer. I will be able to make the things. So please make sure that you guys, if you still got questions, I will be around to answer those questions, but it will be from somebody else's shop. So that is where I will be for that. And then I'm not going anywhere for the rest of the year that I have planned. I will be sticking home. So there'll be a lot more Sasses. There will not be a Sass next Sunday because I will be away. We're looking to maybe do a Zoomie Saturday night. So make sure you guys look for the link there. I'm not really sure. It's all going to depend on what Miss Beverly and I have going on that Saturday night. We may or may not do it. I will go live with different things from her shop if I can. But this is really a business meeting. I'm teaching her Photoshop. We're doing Photoshop website and getting that BN20 of hers all set up. Plus, we're working on some embroidery projects while I'm there. It's going to be a long 7 days, but it's full on work. I'm so confused with using Midjourney with Discord. Where do you go to design? You have to go right into Midjourney, and that's not something I am going to explain on a SaaS at all. That is one of those things that your best bet is to go to YouTube and type in how to use Midjourney and let them tell you there are different ways to use it. I will confuse you, and I don't want to do that. So go in just starting out on Midjourney, and there's lots of tutorials in there to help you get it all figured out. Shenanigans. Of course, there's always shenanigans. So that is all. Facebook and YouTube, thank you guys so much for joining me here on the Sass. TikTok, thank you so much for joining me. I've got to get back to work. I was going to try to do a work in Sass, but it ain't working out that way. So I got a lot to do. I got boxes I got to go out tomorrow, and I have been working my tail feather off to do this. I got goals, y'all. Goals, goals, goals. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys, real soon somewhere on the flip side.